let's start with the quarterbacks.
Jordan Love is my QB5 this week. He's been brilliant from a fantasy perspective, and it's a good matchup against Arizona. I've also got Kirk Cousins. He's at 11 this week. 509 yards last week, and he's got Carolina. Giddy up. Caleb Williams. I got him as my QB12. Yeah, I mean, had a good game last week. The Jags are giving up the most points to quarterbacks.
Who's moving down your rankings this week?
Now, Kyler had a really good game last week. He was a stardom. In his previous 4 games, 3 of them were kind of mid, and I don't think he's going to have a good game against Green Bay. Now, if J.O. Alexander is out again, that changes things, because that could potentially take Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the game. But I don't love Murray this week. Brock Purdy, I don't love the matchup against Seattle. He's my QB 16. And then Deshaun Watson, hasta la vista, baby. It's over there. It's done.
Yeah. Which running backs have risen up the rankings?
J.K. Dobbins, even though his last couple of games have kind of been not good, I love the matchup this week for him. I think they're going to have to run the ball against Denver. And then on the flip side of that, Javonte Williams had a good game last week. And so, I'm not saying he's going to come out and smash again, but you feel a little bit more confident. He's more of like RB2 flex type. I mean, you got to put Tank Bigsby on here. Right now I have ETN ranked higher than Bigsby, but the gap is really close. And I don't know that I won't rank Bigsby ahead of ETN by the end of the week. Right now I've got him ranked higher, but Bigsby's close. And that guy has created a mess for fantasy managers in Jacksonville because we did not see that coming.
And on the other side of things, there's Travis Etienne.
Yes, Travis Etienne is now he's kind of a middling RB2 flex until we start seeing some signs of life. Rashad White, he's in the same boat, and Zach Moss is banged up, and then Chase Brown's starting to get a little more burn. I don't think the Moss injury is super serious. Right now I have Chase ranked ahead of Zach going into the weekend against the Giants because Chase is healthy.
Who are our wide receiver risers?
DJ Moore, fantastic matchup this week. He's in my top 10, which typically he hasn't been. Terry McLaurin has got a good matchup against Baltimore, who just gave it up to everybody. And then how about Darnell Mooney? Great matchup. He went crazy last week. He could have had an even better game. He had dropped a couple of passes. Atlanta's offense seemed to be clicking on all cylinders, and that was against the Bucs. And now they got Carolina. Darnell Mooney's a good flex option this week, maybe even bordering on wide receiver too.
Wide receiver fallers, the Saints, wide receivers, we already talked about them, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, whoever the quarterback is, it's not Derek Carr. That's a problem. I mean, Amari Cooper, again, the same thing with Deshaun Watson. He's got a great matchup this week. The Eagles are bad against perimeter receivers. I just can't trust him. I can't trust any Browns right now, which stinks because I'd like to start him because the matchup's really good, but I can't. Keenan Allen is starting to get dropped in leagues. He's getting dropped. I don't know if it's going to be turned around in Chicago with all those mouths to feed and with DJ Moore, clearly the number one option for Caleb Williams. Tucker Kraft, 2 good games in a row. Snaps are up. Targets are up. The Packers still don't have Christian Watson, so they're not at 100%. Cade Otton, I know the numbers were not great last week. Now you got a good matchup against New Orleans, who's given up a couple of big games to tight ends this year. And Dalton Schultz, who we talked about at the top of the show. I'm not saying it's a gigantic leap forward, but he's certainly rising because Nico Collins is demanding double-digit targets every week, and now those are kind of up for grabs.
Cole Kmet is a faller.
He is. Zach Ertz, also a faller. He did nothing last week. I don't particularly love the matchup this week. And then Hunter Henry, who's had one good game. That's it. You can't play him. He's a name guy, but it doesn't matter. You can't play him. And I wouldn't be opposed to just cutting the dude.